the Eurovision Song Contest 2015 in Vienna, the 60th Eurovision Song Contest. And next to me now is the doyen of morning radio on BBC Radio 2, the one and only Mr. Ken Bruce. Ken, welcome.
Thank you very much,
It's
David.
a great pleasure to meet you at long last.
My pleasure entirely
Now
to
then,
be here.
as far as I'm aware, this is year 27?
Actually, this is the 28th
28. Oh, right.
contest, because the first one was 88, and this is 15, so this will be the 28th contest. But who's counting?
Well, why haven't you had a knighthood yet? This is the question.
You know, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I work in radio, and it's the hidden medium.
So the first one you did, Ken, was what year?
1988.
Yep.
That was in Dublin at the showground, the Royal Showground in Dublin, and it was won by Celine Dion. And you know,
Whatever happened to her?
well, I don't know. She failed miserably. She never appeared in another Eurovision, so she can't call herself a success,
That's
can
very
she?
true. No.
So she's got this gig at a sort of Butlins-esque place.
Yes, there's some place in Las Vegas or
something
somewhere.
like that.
Yes, I'm not quite sure
yeah,
where it is.
Yeah, well,
Somewhere crazy
well,
like
if
that.
she wants to come back and try her luck at it some other time, then she's very welcome.
Now, Ken, from 1988 to now, what do you think is the biggest change in the contest?
Well, the scale. It's simply the sheer scale of it. Although this year it's a little smaller than it was.
The venue is a little smaller,
but
yeah.
it's still huge, isn't it? And my first one was at the showground in Dublin, and it really weren't that many people there. And all the people who were there were dressed in dinner jackets, long dresses, bow ties. Everybody was dressed to kill.
Including the commentators.
Including the commentators. We had to wear dinner jackets, believe it or not, because there was a reception afterwards.
The shadow of John Snag was still alive.
Oh, yeah, Lord Reith would have been entirely happy with the whole thing. And it wasn't the public who were there, well, one or two, but mostly it was the great and good of society, wherever you went. And that's the way it was for a long time. It was held in theatres and small venues, and then it just gradually got bigger and bigger and bigger, and became the contest of the people, which it is now, and I think that's a very good move.
The great Leviathan it's become now.
Well, it is a juggernaut, isn't it? It just moves on from one year to the other.
Has your commentary box got bigger?
It has slightly, I think, this year. It's always difficult to tell. We've had some really tight squeezes in the past, but as you know, I put on a little bit of weight. I'd like to have a bit more space.
No.
Well, only a little.
Yeah.
It is. It's quite comfortable. We're not objecting, but as always, they never quite get the air conditioning right. It's very difficult to do it in a place this size. So the temperature does rise a bit in the course of the evening. And it's a long night. It's a long contest.
Well, it's 27 songs this year,
Yeah.
Ken, so that's...
and we're talking about 3.5 hours. And you know, I'm an older gentleman. I may not last 3.5 hours.
Well, how do you get through 3.5 hours on the radio? Is there a secret?
There is no secret, really. It's simply just, limiting your fluid intake, I think is a good plan, and having the odd bite to eat just to keep yourself alive.
I seem to recall Sir Terry used to say no alcohol until song 7. Do you go by that rule?
He never went by that rule as long as I knew him. It was long
I don't think you're
before
supposed
song
to say
7.
that, really, but still, never mind. This is a trade secret that shouldn't have been revealed.
I can tell you, Graham Norton certainly doesn't abide by it. But
That's another one we'll cut out. Yes, that's all right.
I certainly find that if I can have the odd drink, that's lovely. But if I have just that touch too much, I can't add up the scores. So when it gets, and for radio, of course, I have to describe the scoring.
Exactly, yes.
They can't see the scoring on the radio, so I have to describe it. So I have to have my wits about me.
As the contest has got bigger, Ken, I would imagine that it's the scoring part has got more and more difficult. I seem to remember maybe 4 or 5 years ago, we actually went away from the scoring and had music for a while on Radio 2 and then came back to the scores. What's happening this year?
We did that for a couple of years. No, we're going to take all the scoring because it's what everybody wants to hear, the scoring, and it is shorter now. I think the couple of years we did that,
was when they were giving the
still
full
giving
points.
all the scores.
Yeah.
No, they're cutting out the low numbers and just doing the
Which
higher
makes that
scores.
difficult to describe because you've got to be very quick on the uptake to see the numbers as they flash up on the screen. So.
Well, yeah, and sometimes you're just halfway through them when you take them off the screen, so you've got to try and remember what they were or make them up.
And that's what your producer's next to you for, I guess.
No, he's usually away somewhere at that time.
More trade secrets. We're revealing everything. The behind-the-scenes
Terrible,
secrets of the Radio 2 commentary box here. Now, Ken, Of course, we know you from morning radio. When did you start doing your BBC mid-morning show?
Well, I first appeared on Radio 2 in a show, as it were, in 1982, when I was doing some depping work, sitting in for Ray Moore and John Dunn and people like that.
Yes, the great Ray Moore.
And I had my own show on Saturday nights in 1984, and then I got a daily show in January 85. So I've been doing a daily show for 30 years now.
And they've been trying to get rid of you ever since?
Every single year, if not week. However, I'm tenacious. I just hang on in there, and the longer I've been there, the more I know where the bodies are buried. So they can't get rid of me that
You know,
easily.
it's all secrets. This interview today.
Yeah.
It's all secrets. Did you watch Eurovision when you were a child?
Oh yes. I can remember. Sing Little Birdie by Pearl Carr and Teddy Johnson.
Well,
I remember
I'm afraid
that.
I have to tell you that's my first memory as well. Not actually watching it, but listening to it on children's favourites.
Right.
Probably with Uncle Mac on Saturday morning.
I wouldn't be at all surprised. And Brian Johnson, Teddy's brother, doing Looking High,
Yes,
High. I remember those.
Yes.
And then Sandy Shaw, of course. And that was a
when
great moment.
That's when we were in Vienna last time.
That's right, and it's been a long time coming, so maybe we'll win again this year.
Well, you never know. It's been a long wait for the Austrians to host it again. So.
And we've had to wait a few years now as well. Not quite as many as the Austrians.
So when did you get over here, Ken, to Vienna?
Arrived on Wednesday night,
right.
and we did a show from here Thursday morning, and another one Friday morning, and I've just been sort of settling in
and enjoying the atmosphere.
Getting to see the sights and enjoying the atmosphere, I should
Have
say.
you got any particular memory of one Eurovision Song Contest that stands out above all the others, whether it's good or bad?
Yeah, well, there are quite a lot of bad memories, but I tend to suppress them if I can. But I suppose the biggest memory is of Riverdance, because that was just a stunning moment in Eurovision. Sadly, it wasn't one of the entries. I wish I could say one of the entries was stunning, but I do think when Riverdance happened, I thought, well, the world has changed.
It certainly did, and it certainly did for all the interval acts. I think there have been some interval acts which I have to say would be very difficult on radio. The one with crossbows springs to mind. Did you describe that one?
Yes, I did. I described it because I thought, well, there's no way I can just let this go through because the music wasn't very, listenable.
Just
as
lift
well.
the music,
it was. So I thought, well, I'll have a go at describing this. And of course, memorably for those who were there, he actually missed it. The crossbow missed the apple. For those who weren't there, when he had set up about 20 crossbows with a balloon on the firing mechanism, and each one fired at the balloon, burst the balloon, which triggered the next one, which burst the next balloon, and bang, 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 bang. And he had started the first one, then ran round to the end and put an apple on his head, and the idea was that the bolt would go right through the apple. Well, it missed the apple, and for good or ill, it didn't go through his head, but it went to the side. And I was commentating on it, and I said, "Oh, he's missed it! It's missed! Oh dear, this is dreadful, dreadful!" And then they showed the video replay on the screen, and blow me, the bolt went right through the middle of the apple. And for a moment, I thought, "I've got it wrong. How did I get that wrong?" And then it dawned on me. The video was of the rehearsal.
The videotape.
Yeah, it was of the rehearsal. It wasn't an instant replay at all.
All these secrets are being revealed.
He came out holding up the bolt with the apple through it. He must have shoved it in there, right in the back of the set. But I called him out for it. I'm afraid I blew his cover. Guillaume Tell, that was the man.
Oh dear. That was the great days of Eurovision.
These were fantastic.
Coming up to date slightly, we've got newcomers in the contest this year. They appeared as an interval act last year, which was in the semi-final from memory, so you didn't commentate on that one. But we're welcoming Australia. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's a great idea because they are such supporters in Australia of the Eurovision Song Contest. They love it. It's a massive thing there. So, yeah, I'm not sure they should be back every year, as some people are suggesting. I don't think that's really a very good idea. But I think it's a lovely gesture to have them here this year. The worry is that they've put in such a good song that there's a good chance they might win it, and that would completely blow everything out of the water.
Well, yes. Well, I think the EBU have said that if they do win, then the contest will be hosted by an as yet unnamed European broadcaster. So perhaps the BBC might...
I'm not sure the BBC has got the money to wish to host it unless they get the kudos of winning.
We've got to put the licence fee up to pay for it.
Yeah, or else get the Australians to contribute.
Well, we could do that.
That's an idea.
That's an idea. Now, some years back you wrote an autobiography called Tracks of My Years, which of course is one of the strands in your show. So tell us what's happened since you published the book.
Well, generally speaking, I've just got a good bit older and no wiser, of course, because you never do somehow, it seems. But no, not much has happened because I'm still doing the same job, and the reason I'm still doing it is because I love it. And the reason why I still come back to Eurovision every year, by rights I should have said after 10 years, well, that's enough. But it's different every year, and it's enjoyable in its own way every year, and there's always enough to make me think, one more year, and here I am again.
And here you are again. And the other thing I must ask you about, Ken, of course, which a lot of our foreign listeners won't know about, is, of course, you're involved with London buses as well.
Well, yeah, I have an interest in a company which looks after old London Routemaster buses, and we hire them out for weddings and parties and birthdays and things like that, and it's a nice little business, and we've got half a dozen of these buses now, and people seem to enjoy seeing them on the road still.
And if I'm not mistaken, the business is with Alan Dedicoat and some other Steve Madden, is it, to other Radio 2 alumni?
Everyone is a broadcaster who's worked on Radio 2. We've got
and
Charles
now, and now reduced to driving buses.
Yeah, well, no, it's not reduced to. It's a much more honourable profession.
And of course, you've got your PCV license.
Yeah, I can go out and drive the team coach. If the driver doesn't turn up to take Team UK back to the...
It's going to be you.
Yeah, it's going to be me. Yeah,
Sounds good to me.
As long as I pass the breathalyzer.
Well, it's been a great pleasure to talk to you, Ken, and thanks very much indeed. And we wish you all the best for your commentary stint. That'll be tomorrow night on the 2015 Grand Final, the 60th Eurovision Song Contest.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much, David.
Thanks very much, Ken. Thank you.